Hi everyone, I'm not Barbara, that's Barbara. My name is Albena, I'm from Chaos Group, and I have the great pleasure of sharing the stage with Barbara today for introducing something really exciting that Chaos Group is part of. But before we get to that, I will follow what Phil said, and if we're looking to the future, which is Mars, we have to look to the past as well, so that we know where we're coming from. Some sources claim that in the beginning there was nothing. According to science, however, before the universe was created, there was chaos. So people usually refer to the term chaos in a negative connotation. They think it's something scary, something insecure, something disruptive. But again, referring to what Phil said earlier, the word disruptive is used for disruptive trends, which are something positive we're looking forward to. Disruptive technology, disruptive innovation. It is all something really, really nice. Yeah, you've seen a lot of the pictures, and I actually have to thank, you will see all of us from Chaos will be using your pictures and your work to share what we would like to share with you, because they illustrate perfectly the inspiration that you give to us and that is born within you. So talking about the Big Bang and the creation of the universe, that Big Bang spark I'm talking about lives within all of you artists. And this Big Bang is what gives you the spark to create million universes and share them with us. And we are really thankful for that. So let's think about what drives this. It's that inner hunger that we have for many years to explore new universes and to just as our ancestors were doing, to create worlds in a book or on the screen. And what really we usually want to communicate through our art is the characters and the stories standing behind that. And it is them we want to communicate in the most realistic and relatable way. We build entire cities around a single person. We travel the seas. We invent and manage to artificially stimulate intelligence that we were talking about, reality and light, obviously. And it is you in this room who will continue this progress by building it yourself, by teaching others how to do so. And it is our ultimate goal and dedication to give you the right tools to do so that you can make others laugh and cry or think or whatever you want to make them feel. And yeah, he's cool. No spoilers, I promise. You will be building worlds, and you will be threatening them by disasters and then rising new ones from the ground up once you destroy the old ones. And you can imagine anything from a mighty dragon hatched by a fire queen to a naughty raccoon going around the universe being rude to pretty much everyone, including me for calling him a raccoon, probably. So we will travel the galaxy with you, with your stories, with your characters, with heroes that can be as tiny as an ant and as big as a god and a very hot one. So going through all that, it is the characters that we're talking about, the future that we're visualizing, and some pretty sweet ones as well. We would like to thank you for taking us on those journeys that you're creating. And the next journey that we are offering, together with our friends from HP, is to, I think everyone recognizes this, to Mars. Mars is going to be very different. You know, Elon Musk recently sent a Tesla there. I think the first person who steps on Mars will claim a pretty sweet ride. But jokes aside, we're going to be dressed in a different way. We're going to travel in a different way, live in a different way, breathe in a different way. So what is going to be the thing that we're going to take with us? It's that inner Big Bang spark I was talking about in the beginning. It is that warm feeling where we're with our family, when we're with our friends, when we create our art. This is the feeling that we're going to take with us, our values and our morals and our home. And when we're talking about home, I'm going to skip through the video because we're really running short in time. But when we're talking about home, HP have already started thinking about how to make Mars a home for 1 million humans. And it's a very exciting challenge, and we're so happy to be part of it. Barbara will tell you a little bit more about it.
Thanks, Albena.
There you are.
Hi, so as Albena said, I'm Barbara Marshall. I'm from HP. I'm the industry manager for media and entertainment for the workstations business. And it's my pleasure to be here to talk about HP Mars Home Planet. Before we get into it, though, I would love to know how many of you have actually heard of the program HP Mars Home Planet? That's great. I'm glad to see. Any of you actually competed in it so far? No. Maybe that's because you're ready for the next stage, the rendering challenge. However, let's just rewind a little and give you a little bit of background. So NASA is on a journey to Mars. It has the goal of sending humans to the red planet in the 2030s. The journey is already well underway, as we know. For decades, the agency and its partners have sent orbiters, landers, and rovers to the planet, dramatically increasing our knowledge of the environment. There is, of course, a lot more to learn, but the challenge is on. NASA has actually identified a potential landing place on Mars. For some reason, they've given it a Welsh name. Are there any Welsh speakers in the audience? No, me neither. So I'm not quite sure how you pronounce Morth Vallis, but that's my best attempt at a Welsh accent. So, with this very real goal of sending humans to Mars in the next 15 years, let's face it, it's not that long away, HP and our partners, including NVIDIA and now Chaos Group, we've decided to challenge you, the creative community, to come up with concepts and infrastructure that could make this dream a reality for 1 million people. You are invited to take up this challenge. Little bit of background. We started this challenge about 9 months ago with 3 phases. So we launched at SIGGRAPH last year in August with the concept phase. And we then moved on to the modeling phase. The results of that came out in March. We've had about, I think it was about 800 actual entries, but 10,000 people have actually registered their interest in the whole challenge. There's a whole community built up around it, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So the important thing, though, and the reason I'm here now, is that we've just launched the rendering phase. We'll talk a little bit more about that in future, in a couple more slides. So another part of the program is the VR experience that the Technicolor Experience Center is building. This will launch at SIGGRAPH along with the winners of the rendering challenge. And they're developing the piece in Epic's Unreal Engine and plan to release the app. They'll release a commercial version at SIGGRAPH, and then they plan to release a cut-down version as a sort of free app that people could download at home as a thank you to the community for all your hard work and imagination. The VR experience will also include some of the best work that has been submitted to the challenge. So your work could be included in the Technicolor VR experience. Here's a visual of the timeline. As I mentioned, we launched the concept phase back at SIGGRAPH in August last year. We then launched the 3D phase, and we have just launched, it was at FMX actually, on the Chaos Group stage, we launched the rendering challenge. And then the winners will be announced at SIGGRAPH along with the VR experience. The program itself is produced and managed on the Launchforth site. Launchforth, as many of you may know, is a product development community made up of designers, engineers, and solvers working together to develop solutions to design and engineering challenges, big and small. Mars is pretty big. To give you an idea of the scale, sorry, I got it wrong earlier. I said 10,000 participants, actually 85,000, so I undersold it there. You can see that EMEA is doing really well. 28% of that 85,000 came from EMEA, but the APAC region has completely outstripped everybody. They've really embraced this idea of building the concepts and infrastructure that would enable life on Mars. The Americas are lagging behind at 16%. As part of the program, we introduced an education league. This is a way for schools and universities to participate. They can benefit from HP technology. They form teams and use it as a way of inspiring their students in their academic studies. In the EMEA League, we have 10 universities from several countries: UK, Spain, Turkey, Greece, Norway, France, and Georgia. So far, nobody from Bulgaria. Yeah. And this slide really is a testimonial from Georgia's Business Technology University. There are a lot of benefits that they found to participating in the program. It really helped them articulate and imagine and visualize the future education system. And they used it to access modern technologies. They've used it to enhance the academic studies. So it was just a new way of inspiring students and adding some inspirational structure to their academic studies. So I'm going to skip this slide in the interest of time. I want to fast forward. So these slides are really about what the different educational leagues, different universities, and different teams have achieved. But the thing that really, I think, is impressive is this. Discovery Channel picked it up and have actually developed a TV series following some of the teams that are competing in the challenge. So, here's a few sample submissions, and I want to explain a bit more about what the challenges have entailed. As I mentioned at the beginning, the whole concept is behind sending humans to Mars, not just sending them to Mars, but how would we live on Mars? How would 1 million people live on Mars? What are the infrastructure requirements? What are the transportational requirements? What's the housing going to look like? And the whole point of the challenge is that it's not just concept art. You actually have to respect the laws of physics. So the rules of the challenge are about respecting the rules of the physics of life on Mars and building initially the concept art, then the 3D models, and now render those models, or if you have your own model, you can render your own model. But the idea is to actually really think about what will be required for life on Mars. So, as I said, we've just launched the rendering challenge, and the closing date for submissions is July 6th. Again, a little visual. I don't know about you, I need timelines to be able to get my head around what's happening when. So we launched at FMX on April 25th. Submission date ends July 6th. We'll then be validating and judging later in July and August, and then we'll announce the winners at SIGGRAPH. Where's my clicker? Okay, so membership of this community has its privileges. You'll have exclusive access to resources from our partners. So we mentioned the Launchforth landing page. We've also developed now a community website, and that's run by CG Architect for us. If you go there, you can then link through to all sorts of resources that are being provided by our sponsors, such as Autodesk, free trial downloads of their software, Chaos Group, they've provided V-Ray licenses that you can download. What else, Albena, I think we had something else? Some training resources as well. Algorithmic has also jumped on board, and they've made some materials available for people who enter the challenge for free. And yeah, there's lots of information, lots of resources to help you build your submission. You'll also be judged by, here we go, here's our sponsors, partners, I should say. And then this is a snapshot of the landing page. So yeah, and then also I was going to say, yeah, the judges, world-renowned, including NASA. So this is not just a little bit of fun. This is real. This is about really achieving what NASA has in mind for 2030. So the other thing I would say is don't be intimidated. You don't have to do this alone. It's easy to form a team. You can form a team with your friends, your colleagues, university, schoolmates. You could even form a virtual team with anyone, anywhere from the Launchforth community, because there is this real community aspect to it. I mentioned the judges. So I'm going to skip over that. The advisory council as well. So we've appointed an advisory council to keep us on track so that we are adhering to the physics of Mars and having a degree of reality in what we're trying to do. So as I mentioned, another way of competing is you don't need to bring to the rendering challenge your own model. You can if you want to, but if you don't have a suitably Mars-related model, then you are able to download assets from the previous challenge. And those people who've competed have been asked if they're willing for other people to use their models, and we've indicated, well, we have a whole page where you can see what models are available for you to download. And then, how are we doing on time? Where are we? No idea. We're probably way over, aren't we? So this slide is just some examples of the concept challenge winners and the 3D modeling challenge winners. I'm going to flick through these. I apologize to the winners that we're not spending any time on them, but you can see the diversity of applications like India, Australia, Spain, USA. Okay, because I want to get to the categories for the rendering challenge. The other thing, though, I would say, you can still participate even if you don't want to enter the challenge by sharing assets on social media. Just become part of the community, share the information that is being posted. Each week we've got new social media content. And here's an example. So, yes, so hashtag HP Mars Home Planet, if you're looking for the social media content. I also wanted to mention the different categories for the rendering challenge. So we've divided into two groups. One is for infrastructure, architecture. The other is for transportation. Within each group, we have 5 classes. So one is for still, CPU, or GPU rendered. I know that's getting a bit confusing now because you can render on both without even knowing, but we are looking for CPU and GPU for a still. We also have an animation category, again CPU or GPU rendered, and then we also have a VR category. So there are 10 classes in total, and the prizes, all on the website, you'll win a variety of HP workstations. I should also add that you don't have to have done the work on HP. This is a true community program in the same way that V-Ray is involved, but you don't have to have rendered on V-Ray. We want everybody to participate and to get on board and be ready to go to Mars in 2030.
Humankind has been reaching for the stars since the dawn of time, with an unrelenting determination to venture one step further. Over the last year, NASA sent HP ZBook workstations to the International Space Station to help push the boundaries of science and discovery. Now, it's time to set our sights on the next frontier. Welcome to the HP Mars home planet, powered by NVIDIA. An opportunity for problem solvers, futurists, and dreamers to build a city for 1 million humans. A place to call home. Our collective vision will be presented to the world in 2018 in virtual reality as a blueprint for the future. Join HP and NVIDIA as we journey further than ever before and together reinvent life on Mars.
So just before I go, I want to see a show of hands. Who thinks we're going to get to Mars in 2030? Nice one. All right, thank you very much.